Tell us a little bit more about Porcfest. What's the story with Porcfest?
Well, Porcfest is basically a week-long free society, right? So you come to Porcfest and you see a microcosm of what a free society would be like. Yes, there's commerce. There's Agora Alley is the name of the sort of section of the campground where a lot of the commerce takes place. But the reality is it takes place all over the campground. Usually about 3,000 people come to Porcfest. The campground itself has capacity to host about 2,000 on site, sleeping on site, and I've just heard that it's completely sold out for this year. So if you wanted to tent on site, you're not going to be able to do that, but you can stay off site, drive to Porcfest. It's a beautiful location. It is in Lancaster, New Hampshire, just north of the White Mountains, and it has panoramic views of the White Mountains to the south. It's just a relaxing time if you want it to be, but also an amazing kind of hothouse of ideas and conversations. And yeah, a lot of Bitcoin is used in commerce. Also, gold and silver are used in commerce. Fiat money is definitely deprecated. You will find activities for families, as I mentioned, all sorts of subculture talks and events and sort of kind of experiments, trying things out. Some people have called it the libertarian Burning Man. There's a little bit of that, but again, I don't want to make it sound like some sort of bacchanal. It's actually what you want to make of it. And there's a kind of private zoning on the campground. So if you're there with kids, there's a family section, there's a playground, and there's a full calendar of events for them. If you want to be right in the center of commerce, there's Agora Alley. There's also kind of an adult section where people will experiment with other things. So so if that's your speed, you can find that as well. And there are talks. So we've got this year, my organization, the American Institute for Economic Research, will be sending some speakers. I know the Brownstone Institute will be there. So there are talks as well. Some people just never go to the talks. They're too busy talking to people and having fun. But it is a good intellectual environment as well as a chance to see what a free society would really look like for a week out of the year.
Nice. Yeah, and I've heard from many early Bitcoiners got into Bitcoin because of Porcfest and because of the Free State Project. A lot of fond memories of people buying baklava for like 3 Bitcoins or something like that.
Yeah, that's
in 2011.
Yeah, very early on.
You know
Oh, yeah.
Mandrick? He's on Twitter. He's always got stories about the things that he bought and sold at Porcfest for what would today be a fortune in Bitcoin, but was pocket change back then.
That's right. And many stories, as you might imagine, of people who got Bitcoin at Porcfest back in those early years and then forgot their password or lost their key or whatever. And so, yeah, so fortune's lost and fortune's made. A lot of Bitcoin businesses have started out of Porcfest and the Free State Project community in New Hampshire. So that's been gratifying to see. But I should mention the website, by the way. It's porcfest.com, porcfest.com. So if any of your listeners want to check it out, you really have to go there at least once in your life just to see it, because there's nothing else on earth like it.